It's Bigfoot Collectors Club with Bryce, Michael, and Ivy. I know a story of high strangeness or two. Let's do this.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bigfoot Collectors Club, the show where we talk to amazing guests about their personal paranormal history and share stories of high strangeness. I'm your host, Michael McMillan. With me always is your other host,
Bryce Johnson.
And our super producer,
Riley, bro.
Okay, all right. Everyone's feeling a little silly today because we're back in the clubhouse together. So we're getting on. What voice was it? What magical creature were you imagining as you did that voice?
I'm a little forest gnome.
Okay, that was pretty good.
Yeah. I was doing Smeagol.
That was not bad.
I've got a mean Smeagol.
Not a bad mean Smeagol.
Oh yeah.
If you were if you drove a motorcycle, like, you should wear a leather jacket that says mean Smeagol. So when people are following you, that's what they see.
Yeah.
Stay off our ass, precious.
I mean, mean Smeagol is just Gollum.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah.
I could see you riding a
Smeagol's sweet.
motorcycle. You got that vibe.
Yeah.
Do big tall guys ride motorcycles? They do.
Do they ever?
Big do they? You got to ride the hog though, right?
Yeah. I feel like I'm too accident prone to ride a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Though. I would almost certainly die.
No way. I remember I went like bicycling in LA one time down from my apartment, Club Bryce, down to like Rock and Roll Ralph's, and I almost got fucking killed 3 times. I was like, never am I riding a bicycle or ever doing a motorcycle in LA. No way.
Yeah.
I mean, you had also just had like 240s.
Yeah, well, yeah.
They were still taped to your hands.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he was. You also know that like Club Bryce, he only rode a motorcycle not holding the handlebars.
Let me tell you something. Well, I've never ridden a motorcycle.
Bicycle.
And I've always regretted that because
motorcycle.
all those cool leading actor guys have to have a motorcycle. I remember we were friends with this soap actor guy. He was really popular at the time. I won't mention names, but one day we were at Club Bryce, me and Johnny, and he rolls up on this new fucking black. And he's
Johnny
like,
Hawk.
Yeah, Johnny Hawks. Yeah,
Of course.
But this
legendary Club Bryce supporting character.
Yes,
Yeah.
but our friend who was on the soap opera, he rolls up in this big black hog. I mean, just like 5 times the size of the kid, you know. And, he's like, and we're just like, wow, you good? Wow, you did it, man. Look, wow, you're pretty cool. He's like, well, I'm gonna head off to Coffee Bean. You guys wanna meet me there? We're
gonna grab a frap.
No, we're good, dude.
There's nothing more early to mid 2000s LA in my brain than a Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf patio.
Totally.
I feel like that's where everybody was hanging out.
Oh my god, too funny.
I remember sitting out at I think I was at a Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. I remember, I think it was like I have just vivid memories of sitting out on a patio that was the Starbucks on Melrose and looking around, and like all the guys were wearing their trucker hats and like wristbands, sweatbands, because punk was so the Ashton Kutcher look was like the hot thing. God. And I was like, what a dumb town I moved to.
And not a lot has changed.
Nope.
Yeah.
And you were just up the road throwing parties at Club Bryce.
That's right.
Little did I know.
Too fun.
Well, hey everybody, if you haven't noticed, this is another Clubhouse Boys episode. No guest this week. We are going to be doing L-Files stories. These are listener stories that you guys have sent in to BigfootCollectorsClub@gmail.com. If you have had a personal paranormal experience, we want to hear it. We will get to them at the end of every month on the show. That's how we like to wrap up. Speaking of wrapping up, we're now just 1 week away officially from the end of BCC Jet Ski Summer.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
I'm
What a summer
satiated.
it's been.
Yeah. I feel like that, right? What a summer it's been. Finally, since this freaking COVID thing, do I feel like I finally had a justifiable summer with the family. We went a little somewhere, had some nice little, daycations, and just all in all, it felt like okay, like a really good summer. Did you guys feel that way?
Well, like I said, I think I've told our listeners, like, my vacation is happening at the end of BCC
That's right,
Jet
you're
Ski
going to
Summer.
Disney World,
Because
yeah.
guess what? While you boys are having fun, I was working all summer. I was working all summer on this show. I'm putting out a podcast every week and keeping everything going, all right?
Touche.
You guys got vacations. You guys got some breaks. Well, guess what? Mikey's getting a break in a couple weeks. And here's the joke, everybody. When I get a break, they also get a break, too.
Here's the
All
bigger
right?
joke. Your break is Disney World. That's my fucking nightmare.
I cannot
That is no break to me,
wait.
my friend.
Oh man, I cannot
my
wait.
Gosh.
But you guys went down to San Diego recently,
Yeah.
and you discovered your love for a metal band that you were not aware of.
Oh yeah. You recommended me a toy store, as a good friend should always
You
do.
never told me how it was.
It was incredible.
Where'd you go?
So Super 7, Mike recommended. He's like, you're in San Diego, you got to go to Super 7. And I'd heard of the name, and I walked. First of all, when you walk up, it has this huge Cobra insignia in the front window. And me and Walker were already like, oh, this is going to be cool. And you get in, and there was just toy after cool toy after cool toy after cool toy. I got to talking to the dude, Sam. What's up, Sam? He was super cool. Told me about the shop and about how they did it Comic-Con and all the fun stuff they were making.
Yeah, they made it like a Cobra, G.I. Joe Cobra headquarters recruitment center.
Yeah, they made a Cobra recruitment center. They had pamphlets and everything. So we obviously recruited. My son and I were now Cobra patrolmen. But yeah, it was so cool. We bought
Wait
a
a
little
minute.
toy.
Aren't they global terrorists?
Yeah. Well, you know, they're Cobra. It's Cobra. It's fine. It's Cobra.
By the way, for those of you tuning in for the very first time and wondering where the UFOs and Bigfoot are, it is also called Collectors Club. Okay, we like to talk about.
We
this
love our
stuff.
toys or our
Love our
action
toys.
figures. We do. But anyway, thank you. What a cool shop, man. And so they had these. It caught my eye right away. There were these upside down cross reaction toys of these like Pope-like figures, and I was like, "Who's that?" And the dude was like, "Oh, that's Ghost. We did our own special version of the rock band Ghost, and those are their characters." I was like, "Cool." But then we went to Urban Outfitters, and my son picked out a Ghost record, and I started playing it. It's totally fucking metal.
Never listened to Ghosts.
Yeah,
Cool band.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm
and
aware of
it's-
the figures. That's what a nerd I am. I'm like, oh, I know the toys you're talking about, but I never listened to their music.
Well, and the LP had like these beautiful, like esoteric designs and all the lyrics. So, what a great way to enjoy an album again. I really feel like we're bonding over like, you know, going through an entire album and reading the lyrics. It was so fun, and it's also very very devilish music. So I feel very parent worthy in that respect. It's like, ignore that, ignore the upside down cross thing. Don't bother with that.
Nah, it's good for them. It's good for the kids.
Yeah.
Totally.
A little subversive music to brighten up the day.
Haven't played the record backwards yet, but
I'm house sitting my friend's place. They have 3 dogs. I brought my 2 dogs. So it's just me and 5 dogs right now.
and your clicker.
And my clicker. Yeah, check out a recent episode of BCC The Other Side
Violet.
over on Patreon. This has been a nice vacation from dog training this week. Everyone seems to be doing just fine. So I'm like, it's probably. I mean, the dog trainer did come yesterday, and we worked with Violet a little bit. But anyway, my friends recently put up just one of those small above ground pools.
Oh, yeah.
That has like a pump and everything, and you better believe I dipped into that at the end of the day yesterday after going for a run.
Nice.
I had on my sunglasses, put on some meditation music.
Yeah.
Just watched the sun go down over the roof of the house.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, you really do got to take some time for yourself.
Yeah.
Little like it's hard to find like meditation music that isn't the cheesiest thing in the world, but I did pretty good, and I was nice. I got into a nice amniotic state.
I offer you this, right? It doesn't take a lot. Like that state that you were in, whether it's like a small above ground pool or like an ocean level pool at the Shangri-La, it's still that same feeling, right? It's just this little moment of sereneness, whether it's in your backyard or at some, luxury hotel. It doesn't take a lot, people.
No,
That's right. Go in.
Go in, man.
that's
Same
right. There's a
feeling.
ghost opening the front door of the clubhouse right now.
That did just happen.
Oh,
We're
that was
just gonna
cool. I
let it
thought
go.
that was someone coming back. No
You know
way.
what? It's the spirit of the clubhouse. It's returned.
Fuck yeah.
All right, let's get into this week's episode. We've got some L files coming down the pipeline. Before we do, hey, we're here. We're in the clubhouse. Let's do a quick little bit of clubhouse keeping. If you're listening to this on the day the show comes out, August 31st, then it is the last day to order your official BCC Jet Ski Summer shirt by James Mulholland. You can also get that on a mug, I believe. And as well as everything else in our TeePublic shop. All right? TeePublic shop is shutting down. So hurry, click the link in the show notes of this episode, or go to our Instagram, which you should be following anyway, at Bigfoot Collectors Club, or over to our Twitter at Bigfoot Pod, sorely neglected. Click the link in our bio to grab your merch before it disappears into the BCC vault for possibly ever. Look, we're changing vendors. There will be more BCC merch available soon, but not everything that we have available now will be around. So if there's something you want today, now, in this short window of time for you, for your episode drop day listeners, you got to get it now. All right, let's talk about fun ways you guys at home can support Bigfoot Collectors Club. First, you can shop with us through our Amazon affiliate storefronts. They're brand new. You can find the links to those in our link tree as well in our socials and in the show notes of this episode. A small percentage of your purchase, no matter what it is, whether it's one of the cool books that we've recommended or talk about on the show, or maybe a
cool new piece of podcasting equipment Riley recommended.
The Riley recommends, or that Super 7 Ghost figure, whatever you purchase using our portal, our Amazon
we
portal,
got our own
guys.
portal. Dude,
about time.
A proceed will come back to the show. So it's a really easy way to support us with no extra cost to you.
Yeah.
But there's the best way you can support us, right?
Yeah,
Bryce?
This is the way we love the most. Why don't you stop thinking about it and just join our Patreon already? The BCC The Other Side for just a $5 monthly pledge. You guys are going to get 3 bonus episodes every month, access to the entire backlog of exclusive episodes, and we're going to shout out your name on the air and thank you personally. Like, we're going to do that at the very end of this episode, so stick around for that.
And if you're feeling extra spicy, for $9 a month, you get all of that, plus my Cosmic Tracks, which are the scores from the show. That's what it was mainly supposed to be. I expanded on that and started making it sort of whatever I felt like posting.
Riley's Corner.
You know, it's a real Riley vibe in that tier.
Yeah. Look, it's just...
You never know when one of these things is going to sneak up on you.
No, you know...
Does it adhere to a strict schedule?
No.
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 Is it worth it? Oh, hell yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes you're getting like hour-long drops.
That's true. I'll drop an entire ambient record one week and then an unreleased demo the next week, and then maybe I'll like skip a week and drop 2 the next week.
Dude, people love surprise packages, man.
Yeah, it
I'm
keeps
a
it
sucker
interesting.
for them.
I tell you what, it is fantastic, and it really is adding a whole new dimension. I hate to say it, to no pun intended, to the podcast and to the other side. So well worth it, I think.
I'm trying to make it worth your money. I've really gotten into writing these rambling sort of journal entries for each post.
Yes. It's Riley finally started a blog in 2022.
It's my Tumblr, basically.
Yeah.
It's an audio Tumblr.
Yeah, so head over to patreon.com/Bigfoot Collectors Club and support the show today. Finally, be a 5-star Club Scout when you follow, rate, and review BCC on your favorite podcast app. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, please write us a 5-star review, and we may read it on the show, like this one.
Cass0418 writes, 5 stars. If you like in-depth articles told to you in Cliff's Notes fashion, tune in for Bryce's BCC news articles.
Thank you.
If you like micromanagement with a giggle and a smile, burn.
Sorry.
Tune in for Michael correcting Bryce before he says anything.
I love this.
If you like deep thoughts with a deep voice, tune in for Riley blowing your mind.
Damn.
Love everything about this podcast. 5 stars.
Okay. First of all, thank you, Cass.
Thanks, Cass.
Hard to pick a bone with you, but I will say, we know you're a Riley stan. We know when a Riley stan writes one of these reviews. Once again, Riley shit doesn't stink on this
That's
show.
great. Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
Cass, 0418, is that your birthday? That's my birthday too, April 18th. I wonder if it is anyway. Great review.
You guys should celebrate
Yeah.
together.
Well, we just did over our 5-star review. Now you leave one.
You know,
Look, Michael,
someone's got to keep this car on the road. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
it's true. You keep it going, and then we go on vacation and keep it fun.
We should do. You know how Captain Crunch had the Crunch Berries had the Oops All Crunch Berries special edition boxes.
Yeah,
We should do one episode called Oops All Bryce, where we let Bryce just do the entire episode his way.
No.
And I honestly think this would be a great idea.
It would be.
We'll
a
do an
sugary
Oops All
breakfast.
Bryce episode
Oops All Bryce.
where I'll completely take the back seat. I'm not going to
This
correct
seems
anything.
passive aggressive to me.
No,
Slightly.
let's do an Oops All Bryce.
Oh no.
The Oops
God.
All Riley episode would be about 5 minutes of talking and then about 45 minutes of a single note on a synthesizer. And I'm just like, man, listen to that filter. Oh, it's so good.
All right, let's get into it. So we are going to kick it off with a couple eyewitness videos, and we got a really fun. This isn't exactly an L file, but we did get a fun letter from someone who found this. This is fun. This is what happens when you go digging around online for weird stuff. This is an email sent to us, and why don't I have the see? This is an Oops All Michael situation where I can't find the person who sent it in. This is from Rachel. Rachel wrote to us. I don't know, Twin Peaks Book Club. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the works of Chuck Tingle, but he writes a lot of typical parentheses, typically gay erotica about objects or entities, sometimes Bigfoots, sometimes based on current events, always ridiculous.
Okay.
While I'm not typically into gay erotica, I, of course, signed up for Amazon notifications for when he has new books out because the descriptions are so ridiculously fun. Below is a description for Twin Cheeks, which found its way into my inbox today. Did you guys inspire Chuck to write this book? A book might be a harder sell for Bryce, but maybe this book, also it's 45 pages long. Here's the description. Marge and her sentient log friend, Cole, have noticed a stranger at the local diner in Twin Cheeks, but they're still curious what brings this beautiful T-Rex to their small town.
Log friend?
Yeah, like the log lady.
Okay.
But Agent Cooper's a T-Rex, apparently. Further investigation reveals this mysterious stranger to be Agent Hale Boober, a dinosaur tasked with seeking out the best cherry pie in Washington State every 25 years.
Oh my gosh.
Boober is almost finished with her quest, but there's one slice left to taste. Unfortunately, the final cherry pie lies between worlds in a mysterious location known only as the Snack Lodge.
Wow.
Now Marge and Boober are on a journey to find this otherworldly realm, battling with the forces of darkness with the sensual power of their lesbian love. This erotica tale is 4,000 words of 4,000 words. I've written
That's
longer
good. Okay,
papers.
okay.
Sizzling human on lesbian T-Rex, FBI agent action, and hardcore sentient prehistoric reptile love. I do think Chuck Tingle, from if I recall, does throw a lot of like dinosaur stuff into it. I don't know what you sick freaks are into out there, but dinosaurs have really seemed to work their way into fetishism in the past decade.
How does that even work? I mean, I don't think about it, but
I mean, it just
Love-
goes to
you
show
know what?
there's really something for everyone out there.
So,
you know?
to paraphrase Dr. Ian Malcolm, love finds a way.
love it finds a way.
This is great. I love this. I love knowing this stuff is out here. Look, we got to get back to our Twin Peaks watch over on the other side. I think we're.
Yeah, what are we, like 3
Yes.
episodes
I think
in?
we're
No,
2
one.
episodes
Oh, two.
in.
We did the
Nice.
pilot.
I still say we got to do the rest of season 1.
We will.
And just talk about it as one episode.
Okay.
So let's maybe do that next month.
Okay.
After
all right.
BCC Jets summer comes to a close.
It's so funny.
Fall is the best time to watch Twin
There you go.
Peaks.
Oh yes,
really
I'm
is.
excited
That's a
about the
fact.
fall. That okay? I love that. All right, cool.
It'll be a spooky time. And we're
wait.
just on the precipice of getting into the really weird stuff you're going to be into.
All right, cool.
All right, Bryce, why don't you read us our first listener files? This comes with a video that we're going to put up in our reels over on Instagram.
Listener file with a video.
Yes.
Wow.
This is
So
from
we are getting
Beth.
firsthand. This is
Yeah.
great.
So you guys at home, go check out the reels over at Bigfoot Collectors Club on Instagram. If I can throw up a link in the show notes, I will. If you're not on Instagram, and then you boys, this will be the one from Beth that we opened up second to last, right before we started the show. So cue it up.
Great. Holy shit. We've just seen the coolest thing, and I had to show it to you guys straight away. Firstly, I love you all so much. You never fail to brighten my day, and your overall energy together is just incredible. So myself, my partner, and our friend were just chilling in our garden in Wallasey, England, and we saw the strangest thing. We were looking at the brightest star in the sky, and suddenly a light appeared from nowhere and looked like it was being sucked towards the star, then just disappeared. This happened a couple of times when another light came downwards past the star. As the first light was going up, both disappeared. My friend pulled out his phone and we managed to catch some video of one of them attached. It was incredible to watch. I've only ever once had a similar sighting where what I thought was a star or planet suddenly zipped diagonally and disappeared. But whatever we saw just now went on for a while. I just had to share it with you all. I hope you enjoy the video. Anyways, thank you so much for all you guys do. You have reignited my passion for all things weird, and I recommend your podcast to everyone I know, probably to an annoying extent. Wow, thank you. Freaking awesome. I can't wait to see this video.
Thank you. Also, love our neighbors across the pond.
Totally.
See, guys, BCC's international. It knows no boundaries.
Yeah.
It recognizes no national borders.
It's
okay?
so true.
So, Riley, why don't you play this for our folks, our listeners' ears at home? Cue us up and tell us when to hit play, and we'll all watch together. Now, this is 2-minute long video. We're probably not going to go the full 2 minutes.
Okay.
But we'll just take a look. I think right away we already got some action going here. Okay.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh.
There it is.
Whoa, that's so bright.
Oh, that looks familiar.
So we got like two
Dude, that
blinking
looks
lights in the sky.
Exactly like the orb I saw on Halloween night.
Okay, is this an
Different
orb?
color.
Is this are there two orbs or one orb? Because I think one just faded out of view.
Looks like one orb to me. Sort of
Excuse me, I'm sorry, Beth, for
white-
sneezing during your video.
white or yellowish in color. Yeah, it's I finally some clouds.
Just
So
when you
yeah,
think it's gonna stop, it's like, ooh.
this thing is sort of meandering through the sky. Is that the right video?
Why is it just in one spot? Like,
Oh,
out?
What is it?
play video. Yeah, I have two on here. That's
Is it recording?
Yeah.
This is pretty wild.
Oh,
There's like two coming in and out, and it's
Great
kind
as
of
fuck, like,
Oh,
flying
yeah.
toward each other.
You
You
can
can
see
kind
it.
of skip ahead and you'll see it.
yeah.
Make sure you send me this video.
oh, dude, that's trippy.
You know, at this distance, they look like stars, but they're definitely not stars. They're like
there comes
orbs.
the other one.
Yep, here it comes. If you jump to like 151, you'll see this thing.
Whoa.
If you jump to 150, minute 150,
Yep.
this thing just zooms down out of the sky. It's pretty wild.
I mean, you would think of maybe a flare, but flares go down. This thing's going up.
It's bobbing and weaving.
Yeah.
Beth, you guys got a good old fashioned will-o'-the-wisp on camera.
Yeah, that's
A jack-o'-lantern. Riley, what do you think? What's your thoughts over there as the
Adjusting the microphone. Wait, so was the bright point, was that the star they were referring to? And then this thing is zipping around a star?
Yeah, but I thought it was. So let's look at
Because
this.
there's a single
Look in
point
the brightest
that
star in the sky.
stays,
Suddenly, a
right?
light appeared from nowhere. Yes, and
Yeah.
it looked like it was being sucked towards the star. Yes, so that's the thing at the beginning. I was seeing was not another orb. I thought there were maybe two,
I mean, 100%.
but another light came down towards past the star.
Yeah,
Right,
As the
yeah,
first
yeah.
light was going
Weird.
up, there too. They were dancing.
Yeah, you see another one show up. I mean,
Pretty cool
100% not a satellite.
Not a
'cause
plane.
Satellites don't move like that. And yeah, no blinking lights, no red or green, nothing that makes it seem like it would be a plane or a helicopter. I mean,
It's a good video.
That's,
damn good
Good
video.
stuff.
that's a UAP right there.
Let's
Yeah.
go in my secret stash. I'll take
Yeah.
that one, Michael.
Bryce, put it in, roll it up, smoke that one. Riley, we have another similar video. This is another orby looking one here stateside. Beth, you might want to pull this up and take a look at it over at our Instagram. Riley, why don't you read us this message that we got? This is from Terrence, I believe.
They're from Terrence. Hi, Bryce. Thanks. Oh,
Wait a
just-
minute.
Just Bryce.
Yeah, okay,
Just-
I'm listening.
I guess.
Let's see. Okay, Terrence.
Okay, so we got a Riley stan,
All right.
and we got a.
Terrence has addressed this to
Yeah.
the true expert in the room. Thanks a million for taking a look at my video. I'm at a loss. It wasn't a plane and it wasn't a satellite. Not sure what to make of it. Definitely looking forward to your feedback. This has been occurring for years here in central Connecticut. However, this is the first time we were able to record it on the phone. Thank
okay.
you for your interest.
Wow.
All right. Well, Bryce,
Yeah.
we're going to look away from our computers since
No.
this is only addressed to you.
No, you please
Yeah.
join
We're
in
going to leave
fun.
the room.
Yeah, we're going to take a little 5.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let's take a look at this. Riley, cue us up.
All right, here it comes. 3, 2, 1, play.
All right, keep looking. Any blinking lights?
Oh wow.
Keep looking. I got it on film.
Any lights, Mama?
I'm
That is like
taking
a
it.
orby orb.
Dude.
Super orby.
Wow.
Yeah, that is an
Okay.
orb.
Good eyes, Gabby. That's not a satellite.
No.
It's been a while since.
That is not a satellite.
That
guys,
is so
and it's
strangely
not a
familiar to
plane.
the orb I saw on Halloween
What the
night.
hell is
Only
it?
this one is more yellowish in color, but
That's
same
exactly what I
exact
keep
thing.
seeing.
That's
Once
trippy.
A summer.
Yeah.
Once a summer, he says.
Once
What
a
the
summer.
hell is that?
This is great because you can see some clouds, so now you have some
Nice
perspective.
eyes, Gabby.
This thing's
Nice
sort of just
catch.
lobbing in and out of the air. Wow.
That is not a satellite. It's not a plane.
Yeah, there's no
That's
way.
trippy.
I'm gonna guess it's about 20,000 feet. Maybe no,
Oh
15,000.
yeah,
feet.
this thing you can see it against the star field.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Go get your
crazy.
sister. She
Look how
likes this
quick
kind of
this is
stuff.
bobbing and weaving around.
Gabby, excellent catch.
There's not a night I don't look up
Wow.
at the sky where I'm hoping to maybe see something
If you
like that.
if
know
you
what I
jump
mean?
ahead, if you jump ahead to about 3 minutes.
All right, jump
Very
into 3
nice.
minutes. I'm loving Terrence's commentary.
I know this is
Yeah.
also great narration.
Yeah.
Jump
All
to
right.
about 301, 302. This thing fades out quickly.
All
Here's
right, hold on,
301.
hold on.
Wow. Very interesting. All right, that's it.
Let me see it fade out.
Oh, it turned off. It vanished.
No
Wow,
way.
It just vanished.
That's pretty great.
Did you see that?
There it goes.
No, look at this. No,
And here
see
comes
the
an
plane
airplane.
up there?
Wow.
Oh, it
That's
came
a
back.
point.
Yup,
So
it
delightful.
turned back on.
I mean,
That's fun.
this is also a
Oh, way
reminder.
in the distance. Very
This
cool.
this is also a reminder.
All right.
Videos like this are like seeing
All
this
right,
shit's fun.
that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep.
It's spooky, but
Yeah.
it's so cool when you see something that you can't explain. It's
Yeah.
You know, it's really it's like one of the oldest forms of entertainment, UFO watching.
Well,
It's
and
true.
It's like who was it? Beth said in the letter before. It's there's so much weird in this universe. We're bringing back. I love it. That you can look out at the sky anytime and maybe catch something like that.
Guys, we love it when you send us in videos. Check those out. Send us in more. If you got weird stuff, love to see it cryptid. You got
Yeah.
something weird caught on a trail cam? Send it over.
Oh yeah.
All
I
right.
had
What?
somebody send me something on Twitter. It was a trail cam footage, and there's a deer in it. And behind the deer is this sort of like orangutan looking skull. You could see the light shine of the eyes. I'm gonna have to look into this
What?
thing.
What? Why have you not sent us this picture?
Oh, let me take a look at this thing. Well, you go about your bit. Let me see if I can find it first. I don't know. I put it in my file. I have a file of like look more into later. So that
about
that made it into that
How about
file.
let me send to
have
my
that file,
paranormal
too.
podcast
Oh,
co-host?
oh yeah.
folder.
Well, I've been busy. Yeah. I
He's saving
gotta
it for the
find
Oops
that.
All Bryce episode.
Yeah.
I'll share that with you listeners as well. Let's take a look into this
See if
thing.
you can.
I'll see if I can find
We'll
it.
see if you
Yeah.
can find it over break, and if you
Okay.
can, we'll
All right.
we'll talk about it. And if you maybe we'll just throw it up on the Instagram regardless. So
Great.
we get some feedback on that one. All right, we're taking a quick break. We'll be back in just a moment with your spooky L Files stories.
Did you see the one fake picture, the meme of the what's the photo, the UFO photo released? The Calvine?
the Calvine
They
photo
turned
that
it
we
into a
discussed
Death
last
Star.
week.
The
Did they
diamond
really?
was like a little Death
or
Star.
a Star Destroyer?
A Star Destroyer. That's it. Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
It was pretty good. Okay, I can't find it. Let's.
Well, great.
Damn.
I'm glad that someone sent you something interesting that
Sorry.
would be great content for this
Wah, wah.
podcast. And it's just
I know. Sorry.
it's lost under a stack
What's
of papers.
even more concerning is that my file of like to look into more later is like I can't find. Like
Yeah.
so that's how.
Did
I
you
operate.
actually have the Calvine photo? Is that where they found it? You were the one who had it?
On his
Sorry,
desk.
guys. It was just in my file of things to look into more later.
All right. Well, if we can find it, we'll put it up on our Instagram, everybody. But let's get into this month's Jet Ski L Files. Let's take a look. Here, I got one. Back to Twin Peaks. titled "The Owls Are Not What They Seem." This is a fun episode because all of you guys actually sent us titles to your stories, which doesn't always happen.
Oh, good. Yeah.
You know, mark it like L Files and then give it a little title. That's
Right.
fun. Hello, BCC boys. I've been a listener and a Patreon for a while now. Thank you. And always hoped I'd have a story to share. While this isn't bananas by any means, it set my spidey senses tingling and I wanted to share it with all of you guys. My family and I recently moved to Illinois from North Carolina. In our old neighborhood, we would hear owls hooting all the time and didn't expect to be as lucky in our new place. Fortunately, that's not the case. As one evening last week, while sitting outside trying to catch the tail end of the Delta Aquarids meteor shower,
I think Delta Aquarids. Yeah.
That would have been good for BCC Jet Ski Summer, a live meteor shower broadcast.
Maybe just us laying there going,
Yeah.
Oh, there's one.
There's one. Look at
And
that.
about 45 seconds of silence.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one.
Oh, that was great. A great horned owl flew over us and into the neighbor's tree. It was a very still night, and although there were clouds in the sky, they too were still, and it didn't prevent me from seeing a few shooting stars. Right after the owl passed over, we noticed a cloud moving by really fast, which seemed pretty strange considering every other cloud in the sky was completely unmoving. My dog Meatball whimpered, the cloud disappeared, and the owl flew over us once more. Did we see merely a cloud or a UFO disguised as a cloud? Cursory Google searches bring up lenticular clouds, but this is not at all what we saw. What we saw was a small, puffy cloud moving at a serious clip while all other clouds were still. I have heard paranormal researchers such as Mike Cleland link owl sightings to alien abductions and UFOs. Is this what we saw, or am I desperate to have a paranormal story to share with my favorite podcast boys? Would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for this podcast. You bring weekly joy to a world going down in flames. Katie Q. Katie, I mean, the proof's in the pudding as far as I'm concerned, right? Now, this is a perfect example of a high strangeness encounter. It fits all the criteria, right? You saw an owl, and then you saw a UFO, or something that behaved like a UFO. So I would say, yeah, it was. Was it, does it have to be packed with like Steven Spielberg level budget of experience?
Activity?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. But I think you could put this into, especially knowing. I mean, you got two correlating high strangeness elements here, right? The owl and a UFO. I think that's all you need.
Yeah, that's pretty
It
good.
can be just a little thing like that. I would argue that a lot of these things seem to be more like on the small side. It's rare that you get a major story happening. I've heard stories of clouds behaving mysteriously.
Yeah.
That way, I mean, check out the movie Nope.
Yeah, I was gonna
There's
say.
a whole
Yeah.
movie this summer based on this phenomenon. So,
Right.
and I've seen. It's not my story to tell, but a family member saw what they described as a cloud appearing out of nowhere and then disappearing once again, just like going in and out, as if it was just like programmed in and then programmed out. So
Right.
I think if there are,
What's the name for that, weatherman?
yeah, I think if UFOs are zooming around, they're
With your
gonna
remote control science.
Bryce is coming for big weather.
oops all science.
No, just weathermen. Weathermen and weather ladies.
Just
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, it stands to reason, like, that's a real easy way to, if you are a UFO, to camouflage yourself, right?
It seems like that would be the way, right?
I
Because all
mean,
you got to do is like condense.
look like a star
air.
or look like a cloud, look like other things that are up there.
Yeah.
Also, maybe just turn invisible. That also seems to be
Well, what
easy.
if that's just a subjective encounter too? What if these are like screen presentations that make us think that it looks like that? I had a
I did
feeling
think of
of
one
that.
thing. I thought, go on. I have a
Okay.
skeptic. I thought of a skeptic's.
Well, it's funny, that owl
explanation.
thing is pretty fascinating to me, and I haven't read Mike Clelland's work, although I'm a little familiar with the owl and the alien abduction connection phenomenon. But imagine like one of those alien grays, just half of its head in your bedroom window, and your mind's going, that doesn't exist. There's no such thing as that. And it just, your mind perceives it as an owl. But meanwhile, it's one of these fucking little grays that are so commonly reported in this alien, contactee abduction phenomena. What are these little fucking creatures? Because, and so maybe they have those similar owl eyes that appear through you, or, I just don't want to see anything like that in my bedroom.
Small puffy cloud moving at a serious clip. Yeah, good point, Bryce. Could it have been a swarm of something, like a flock of birds or bats or bugs that kind of looks like a cloud at night?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Could it have been an alien blowing out a dank vape cloud?
Yes, yes.
Probably.
That's right.
Also, a great dog name, Meatball.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah,
great
very
name for a
good.
dog.
All right, Riley, why don't you read us our next? Thank you, Katie Q, for sending that to us. We love it. Keep
All
your
right.
eyes peeled.
Well, speaking of dogs, this one's titled "My Dogs and I Saw a Pac-Man Ghost." Cool. Hey guys, I love all three of you. I was sitting outside after lunch with my dogs. They're both small and insane and will run after stuff, so I try to pay attention to what they are paying attention to. They both stop to look across the street. We live in a rural neighborhood. I look to see what they're looking at. I see a dark shape in the neighbor's trees about 150 feet away. I thought it was a cat or dog until I realized that it was too tall and long to be a cat or a
I
dog.
don't like this. No.
Plus, my dogs weren't barking, just looking.
No.
I keep watching it and notice it had no features like a shadow, and it was a half moon shape like a Pac-Man ghost.
Well, wait a minute. Pause
Wait,
real quick.
yeah,
Half moon like Pac-Man?
Right.
Or like one of the Pac-Man.
Yeah,
there are ghosts in
blinky,
Pac-Man.
Correct. I
Right.
was picturing the
But-
sort of sheet-looking ghost.
Are we talking like Pac-Man as if he were a ghost?
I think that's what
I think
they're
that's what
saying.
we're going
Okay,
with.
because you
Yeah.
don't you don't understand my
Because that's
confusion. here.
right.
Yes.
Because Pac-Man is a crescent moon shape, while the ghosts are more of like
Yeah.
I don't know the.
I
gist.
the
thought they were
classic
saying-
ghost doodle.
Right.
I
the
thought when they were
classic
saying
ghost
Pac-Man
doodle.
ghosts, they were saying Inky, Blinky.
The other ones,
and the other
yeah,
ones.
but no.
Stinky.
Okay, so this seems to be like a
Okay.
Pac-Man style ghost.
Okay.
Okay,
Pac-Man style ghost.
Great.
Yeah. Then the weirdest part
Ghost in the
is
shape of Pac-Man.
correct. Pac-Man-esque.
Yes.
Okay. Then the weirdest part is it didn't have feet, like Pac-Man. It was gliding across the ground and disappeared into a tree. Now, I have a brain injury, and I will occasionally hallucinate blobs and movement. But I know something isn't real if my animals aren't reacting.
that's
Bingo.
wow.
The animals were definitely noticing this thing.
Been there.
Once it evaporated or whatever, the dogs stopped paying attention. I have no idea what it was. Love y'all, Ashley.
Well, first of all, sorry about your brain injury. I hope you're doing okay. And I've been there. I have seen something. If you go back and listen to episode 0, I won't get into it now. But I saw something that had my dogs not reacted to it first, I would have 100% told myself I was hallucinating this thing.
Yep.
So I get it. I don't know what you saw. What do you guys think? A dark shape in the neighbor's trees about 150 feet away. Too long, too tall and too long to be a dog or cat. So weird.
Yeah.
Weirdest part is it didn't have feet. It was gliding across the ground and disappeared into a tree. I mean, again, skeptic in me, is it a plastic bag blowing in the night breeze?
Maybe.
Could be.
You know, that might spook some dogs, but this is strange. Yeah, very
Yeah,
weird.
Semi-inflated balloon or something
I
like
don't
that.
know. Again, here I am.
It always
throwing
feels
out
like a
balloon.
cop-out saying
It
balloon,
does.
right? You're
I
like,
think the
"Oh,
point
boy,
here is
we're
you
part
need
of
an
the problem."
animal to alarm you of any type of paranormal activity around you. That's the point of
Yeah.
this.
This is why we need familiars.
Yes. Yes.
It
yes.
had no features like a shadow. So we're talking shadow creature here. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a shadow creature.
that just left somebody's bedroom
Yeah.
because they're usually reported in the bedroom. But
Oh, yeah.
Well, but sometimes we see him skittering across the road.
oh yeah, right.
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
So this is the walk of shame
Yeah,
for a
that's what I-
shadow
yeah,
person.
That's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
The shadow
Yeah.
creatures walk of shame.
did it again.
That's-
God, I hate myself.
Shadow
That I
creatures
wasn't gonna
walk of
do it.
shame.
That was the last time, David. You promised yourself.
Definitely.
Damn it.
That's definitely the beginning of another BJ and the Shadowbats song for sure. We'll put that one on the track list. Cool story. I don't know what you saw either, Ashley, but I'm with you on. Thank God I had the dogs around to know that I wasn't seeing things.
All right, I'm gonna go next, but I swallowed too fast, and I'm about.
Sounds
to
like you just took a huge
just
hit.
hit a bong.
you look like you just took a huge hit.
I do.
Did you inhale your water?
Yes, at home, and this is the part where when we recorded Zencaster, I usually get to mute my
Get that
mic.
little
so
button. Yeah.
well,
now you
we're-
get all of
We're
the
back
This is
to
real
being,
life,
yeah.
baby.
lovely noises. All right, let's read another letter from our great audience members who take the time to write in.
Now,
to
this one's
BigfootCollectorsClub@gmail.com.
This one's anonymous, so you can write in anonymously if you want. You don't have to say your name.
We won't blast you out. Here we go. This one's
Nice
called
breeze.
Mantis Alien ?
What?
Hi, BCC.
Are you okay?
Yes. Oh, it's still,
He's just excited
it's
to
still
be
there,
back
but
in
I
the
want to push through
clubhouse.
it. I have so much passion.
I've never seen a more sober person act more drunk than you are right now.
I'm loopy. This heat has got me.
I
All
know.
right, here we
Your
go.
eyes have literally glazed over and they're focusing in two different points in space. What
Here we
happened to
go.
you?
Here we go. All right, swallowed that water. Here we go. I have somewhat of a follow-up to my previous story about seeing the tall alien gray while driving at night. I appreciate you reading and commenting on my story. I only tell it once every few years, and it's a little cathartic when I do, or at least it helps me work through it a little more.
Pause real quick.
Yeah.
Were you? This might have been the one where you guys were having one of your fun summer vacations.
Okay.
Were you there for this story? This might have been when Kristen and Will were with us, where there was someone driving down the road at night, the same anonymous person who experiences some phenomenon.
Right.
And saw what looked to be one of the tall grays standing at the side of the road.
I remember this story.
Okay, were you here for that?
I was, yeah.
Maybe Ryan Sprague was with us and Bryce. Bryce has missed, I think this is the first L-Files episode he's been here for this summer. One
Welcome
of the first.
back. But yeah, it was the
You've missed at least two.
Have
but I'm
I?
saying that might have been with Ryan Sprague's
it was with
episode.
Ryan Sprague. He was a drummer. I remember he said he'd been playing drums with his friends, and
That's
they weren't
right.
they weren't doing drugs, and
He
they
saw-
were Christian, right?
I don't know. I don't remember that part.
I feel like I remember him saying something about.
And he saw just one tall
one
alien
tall
gray on the
yeah,
side of the
one
road.
tall gray on the side of the road. Spooky stuff. L-Files in Black from the anime. Go back and listen to that one, listeners.
the
Okay,
one.
here we
Check
go.
that out. Okay, well,
I think
here we
have
go.
that right.
Having typed the story for the first time and then hearing it discussed got me thinking about the experience again for the first time in a few years, and more importantly, for the first time since becoming a listener back in 2020. Within a few days of sending the email, I realized a possible connection to one other experience that I've always just disregarded as a weird one-off thing, and I really wanted to get your opinion on it. I sent a previous email, which included this story back in 2020, but I realized that email was way too long to read, so I'll make this one a little more concise.
Oh, there you go. Good job.
To recap my main alien story,
Probably what happened.
at 17 I encountered a tall alien gray walking up an embankment and grasping toward me as I drove past in the middle of the night. I do remember this. I wrote that it was 2016, but that was a typo. It was actually the summer of 2006. No other strange events have happened to me until I was in my late 20s and started having hypnagogic hallucinations, which I still occasionally have, seeing shapes and stuff like that.
So you were here for this.
I do
So
remember.
this was our June. This must have been our June L-Files. Sorry, everybody.
Rarely scary, but always strange.
Just go back
Like-
and listen to all of them. you
Why
know?
not? Why aren't you listening?
We could
to
use
all
the
of them?
plays.
That's right. That's
Listen
right.
to all of them. Okay.
Like the Mylar birthday balloon I saw bobbing up and down as I woke up in the middle of the night a few days ago. However, one of these events struck me as potentially related to my previous experience. In the summer of 2016, for real this time, I checked the date, 10 years to the month after my original alien sighting, my now wife and I were staying at a resort in Phuket, Thailand. One night, I woke up in the middle of the night and saw what looked like a tall, praying mantis in what looked like a helmet
No.
of some kind, standing over our bed and moving its head around for a few seconds before fading away. It was scary in the moment because of how defined the creature looked, but I chalked it up to another hypnagogic hallucination. This is me cutting in, you shouldn't, because insect aliens are a thing. And always thought about it as my brain creating the silly image of a mantis in a football helmet. And that time, I had absolutely no concept of mantis aliens. That is something that I've only learned about in recent years from listening to your podcast, which is why it never struck me as anything more than a goofy visual my brain created that night. In the last few weeks, I've been doing light research on mantis aliens.
I just got to tell you, Anonymous, there's no such thing as light research
not
on
in this
mantis
game.
aliens
No,
online,
sir.
okay?
We're 5 years into light research.
The moment you type mantis alien into your search bar,
screwed.
You're too deep.
You're already
All
too
in.
deep. Which is why it never. In the last few weeks, I've been doing light research and on mantis aliens, and have read that abductees often claim to see them standing over their beds. But there's a lot of mixed information on what role they actually play. And to be honest, I don't really like digging too deep into the research because thinking about the implications of my main alien sighting starts to really make me uncomfortable, as I said in my last email, as it should. So, I'm wondering what you guys can tell me about mantis aliens. Have there been any episodes focusing on them that I should go back and listen to? I can think of somebody already, abductee David Huggins, who painted his sordid love affairs with aliens and those sick mantids who watched over. Now, I'd love to think that it really was just a silly hallucination of a mantis quarterback. But the fact that this happened possibly exactly 10 years apart from my original sighting, and that the idea that mantoids and grays have a relationship makes me wonder what kind of connection there could be. Again, I love the show. Thanks for maintaining a podcast that is deep enough to be informative but fun enough not to give me PTSD. Thanks, Anonymous. That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. Those let me tell you something right now. I was at the Museum of Natural History just the other day with my children. They had an exhibit about the insects of our backyard. And in this tiny little glass bubble, you would see this insect about the size of like a couple pinheads. Okay. But they had a photographer with a macro lens come in and shoot that fucking headshot as if it was like a billion times zoomed. These creatures and their heads and their antennas and
I
their
saw this
spikes
too.
And their mandibles and their whatever is on their face is terrifying. It's the stuff of nightmares.
Totally.
And it makes me think, I'm so glad I'm nice to any bug that comes across my path and I try and remove them peacefully and without harm, because let me tell you something, you do not want to get in the way of one of those insect aliens. Yeah, you're not wrong. People report ant aliens, mantid aliens, all kinds of insectoid aliens.
I think we talked about
And
it
they're
too
scary as shit.
in the Del Coronado abduction episode,
That's
which
right.
was our
mass
summer
abduction that took
2021 4th of July episode.
Yeah.
I believe in some of those
Think of the intelligence.
some of those abductees talked about seeing mantoids in those large
Well, I want to add on to
on the
your
ship.
theory of those like tiny cybernetic pocket mouth little gray aliens.
Yes.
Somebody's got to be running the ship, right? Think about the intelligence of the insect species. They were on this planet long before us. They'll be here long after we're gone. If that's their micro version, could you imagine the big version of insects?
Oh, there's got to be planets.
Or maybe they're like creating giant like human or alien mantis hybrids. You know, maybe
Yeah.
there's something about the mantis biology that allows them to like thrive in interstellar travel or something.
Sure. If the early
Maybe
primate picked up tools,
praying mantises are just aliens.
I mean, have you ever really just stared at one
They're
for a while?
awesome.
They're so rad. They see you. They look back at you.
Yes.
Of any kind of insects, like you stare down a mantis, that thing is looking at you.
I think it was 2017. The Kansas City Royals had a mantis named Rally that they brought with them on tour because they
Right.
like it landed on one of the players' hats, and then like we went from being like losing to like winning in the last minutes of the game.
Oh wow.
Amazing.
And then they took him on the road and he died, and everyone was really sad. But they weren't taking very good. I mean, they thought they were taking good care of it, but they really weren't giving it what it needed.
Right.
And literally the next day on the road, a new mantis came down to their dugout and crawled up to them.
Yeah.
And so like there was like this summer where like the Rally of the Mantis was our big mascot. Sorry,
Yeah.
sidebar.
That's okay.
Check out The Ballad of David Huggins with Nina Tarr, which is episode 49 from December 12th, 2018. The Del Coronado episode. Yeah, I don't know. Also check out the movie Communion if you want to, although that might lead to some PTSD.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. We don't know. Some people think the mantoids are like the bosses of the Greys, or the butlers of the tall Greys. I don't know.
Right. That's a pretty good sum up.
Man, I'd love to have a mantis butler.
Yeah.
How
That'd
be
badass
cool.
would that be?
Jeez.
Answering the door for
What
you.
if Batman was everything Batman is, except Alfred was a mantis butler?
Even better.
I'd watch that.
That's a better Batman.
That is.
You just fuck
there's
Michael,
a track.
you're so good
There's
at
a
that
track
stuff.
on the Spindrift album, Classic Soundtracks
bet I'm
Volume
putting that
3,
on-
called "The Mantis." It's not about aliens though. It's about like it's set in like a comic book world.
Cool.
She's a vigilante.
Great.
Yes. So
love
check
it.
out the Mantis
Yeah.
on Classic Soundtracks.
Now we're just
Volume 3.
referring
riffing
anything
on
Mantis
Mantis.
related.
I'm putting this on on the new album
To Mr. Anonymous.
Sexistence
Or Ms.
The Better Batman.
the better.
That's on our new album Sexistence. Sexistence.
No, Sexistence.
First track Lesser Known Gnome, Bat Dog, and The Better Batman.
Is this a Club Bryce album?
No, that's our third studio album.
That feels
together.
very Club Bryce.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say those feel a better Batman is
What? BJ and the Shadowbats can't have a sexier album?
No,
What's the problem?
little
No,
more
this is very Club Bryce.
Americana,
Also,
you know?
like, also
Yeah.
you know that Bryce in the Club Bryce years auditioned for something for some Batman in some show or cartoon, didn't get it, and was like, I'd be a better Batman.
That's when I lost young Hercules to Ryan Gosling. Same thing.
A better Hercules just doesn't have the same ring to it. All right, Riley, what do you got for us?
All right. This story is titled "Dearness Mermaid," which of course
We covered on the jet ski special itself.
that's right. Scottish Graham from the Patreon here. Oh, hey Graham.
Nice.
Congrats on the jet ski special. It was so funny, but I almost crashed my car. Well, glad you did not. I was surprised when you talked about my home island and the Dearness Mermaid. Bizarrely, people here still see mermaids in the sea from time to time, and we have a rich culture of what we call selkies and finfolk, who are basically evil mermaids.
Cool.
In fact, my uncle saw one in the 70s. Oh man, a 70s mermaid. That is just awesome.
70s Selkie.
A 70s,
70s
selkie. Now that belongs on Sexistence.
Yeah.
He was a lobster fisherman, and one day on his boat, he had the feeling he was being watched, and turned round to see what he said looked like a man standing on the water. He soon realizes it was sticking out of the water with a face that looked more horse-like than human.
Whoa.
But it had dark skin and human arms and torso that went into a scaly body. He said the creature has intelligence in the eyes, and it watched him for a while, then slipped back under the seas. Loved that story as a kid. We love it now. Keep up the good work, boys. Graham.
No, that sounds like a Kelpie to me.
Wow.
We just talked about Kelpies on the other
No,
side.
Michael, this is a Selkie.
I know. Well, Selkies, Kelpies, they're all kind of related. They're all
cool names.
But the horse face, that's a
trippy.
Kelpie.
Yeah, that's trippy.
That's weird. I'm glad that Kelpie was trying to seduce or Selkie, your uncle,
Yeah.
and it didn't work. Should have put it on
Had
a
it
different.
happen to a lesser
Should
man.
have shapeshifted into a different face than a horse, and then
mean,
this might have been the
is that
story
what-
might have turned out
You might
different.
have better luck.
Is that what this thing is, right? It's like you have the ocean that let's talk about elements for a second, right?
Also,
You
what
have-
the hell is going on in the Orkney Islands? I gotta get out there and
Yeah,
check this
right.
out.
Truly.
We all got to get out to Scotland. Wouldn't that be great? What if like the paranormal uses the element of water to sort of manifest itself in these what look like sea creatures, selkies?
Like T1000, T2000 style.
Yeah, in a sense, because we can perceive it as sailors and people who are traveling on the ocean, and we perceive like a mermaid, and in like forested areas, we start to perceive something with legs and more wild and hairy, and it's just such a weird thing. You're getting all these commonalities of these fish.
Are you
people.
So
saying-
you're saying like an elemental projection.
Yes,
Are
that's
you
exactly right. Like an
saying-
elemental projection. And then so fire and ether would have one as well, right? Ether would have that's the UFO, right? And
Bryce,
Hmm,
are
okay.
you saying that they're aquakinetic?
Yes.
Ah.
Yes, they could be aqua kinetic.
Guys, jet ski summer coming full
Look at that.
circle. I know
I
what you
love
mean,
this
though.
story.
I mean,
Yeah.
using some sort of using it as a conduit or
A conduit.
manifest.
That's a good word.
It's sort of like I mean, I think there's precedence in this for like, it's like
What are the 4 elements? You have earth, fire, water, and
Captain Planet.
air,
air.
Oh.
Right. Air.
and then metal's the 5th element.
No, ether would be the 5th, right?
Well, I think like if you're going by Fantastic Four rules, so like the Thing is earth.
Oh, is that what that is?
Human Torch is fire.
Right.
Invisible Woman is
So
air
hot,
because
yeah.
she can vanish into thin air, and then Mr. Fantastic is water because he's malleable like water and he can
Right.
take different forms. And then you got Doctor Doom. He's metal.
He's so fucking metal.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In both ways. Like,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
I mean, metal's earth.
and metal.
Metal is the thing that's forged by all the different elements. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's why you got
interesting. It's a
heart
new element.
is in Captain Planet rules. Heart is the
Heart
5th.
is the 5th element. Yeah, well,
Maybe-
same in the 5th element.
maybe
5th
that's
element,
why
love
these-
was the 5th element.
There
Maybe
you
that's
go.
why these UFOs come off metallic sometimes. They're a new progenation of these elementals.
Bryce, I want you to keep developing this
'Kay.
theory.
Okay. I'm going to
And,
put this in my
let's
file
ex-
of things to
Yeah,
look
yeah.
more
Put
into later.
Put it under
to do later.
I'm
Put it
writing it
under
down.
Oops All Bryce.
Okay.
All right, Graham, love it. Thank you for enriching our stories with your Scottish folklore. We love it. Okay, here's our final L file for the episode. Michael reads this one. Oh, good. Okay, great. Love the pod. Here are a handful of my stories. The apartment. All these the stories within this all have titles within this.
It's a new thing.
A few years ago, I was living in a top floor apartment. I was up late reading one night, well into the early morning hours, so it was quite silent both inside the building and no traffic on the street outside. My dog and my cat were both sleeping next to me on the bed as I was reading. Out of nowhere, they both woke up out of a dead sleep. See, guys? Pets, paranormal detectors.
Come
At
on.
the exact same time and stared at my closet. They continued to silently but persistently stare at my closet and my closed closet door for several moments and then went back to sleep. There was no noise, not even a subtle thud of someone closing their door in another apartment. I mean, God, don't we all wish we had this level of peace and quiet. My closet also faced an interior wall with my...
It's true.
I've been very stressed out lately. Interior wall with my... God, you don't even know. My empty living room. The only thing on the only thing on the other side of this closed closet door was the closet was the empty living room. Okay, got off track here. See, guys, I really got to micromanage to keep this car on the road. They didn't seem afraid, and they went back to sleep with no issue, but definitely felt like they could see something there that I could not. The building had been built in the 1960s with everything inside still original to the building. Vintage ovens, stainless steel counters in the kitchen, and everything. I always got the sense that a young couple had once lived in the apartment where I now lived. They seemed happy, and the building seemed to hold good memories for them, but for some reason, they were still around. They didn't bother me, they were just there. One day, probably a little freaked out, I could feel spirits after listening to your show. I calmly told them, look, I know you all were happy here and everything, but you can't keep bothering me. You can stay if you'll be nice, but I don't want to feel your presence anymore.
Nice.
I never felt their presence again.
Wow.
Hey, I think your
That's it.
paranormal instincts are kicked in here. You handled that perfectly. This next story is called The Hand. Shortly after buying a new car,
No worries.
it's a different
It
story.
does feel good to kind of slightly micromanage it.
Yeah, it
I
feels
get
good,
it.
right?
It's a little high.
You have to.
A
Some of
sense
these
of
details are
power.
important, and that would have gone right past me. Shortly after buying a new car, I was waiting at a traffic light when I noticed a strange handprint on the side of my windshield. I immediately felt fearful, even though I didn't know what it was. It just didn't feel good or right. It was in the center of the windshield and facing vertically with the fingertips pointed upwards towards the ceiling of the car and the palm facing down towards the dash.
Oh, yeah. This is on the inside of her car. It said,
Inside?
yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yep. Inside.
Wow.
Weird.
I had only owned the car a few days at this point, so it was still in pristine condition from the dealership.
I'm immediately thinking like wreck, right? Like
Yeah.
someone like, oh my God.
I thought that's weird and went to wipe the handprint off, wondering if it was actually on the outside of the windshield. And when I touched it, it smeared like grease. It wasn't the normal viscosity of human handprint on window. It was thick like tallow or lard. Even weirder was the shape of the handprint. The fingers were long and narrow and tapered towards the ends, and the palm was much smaller in contrast. The handprint was also facing up. Remember, a very unusual placement for a handprint on a windshield. Imagine placing your hand on a car's windshield with your fingers facing up. It would be very awkward, unnatural position with how much you'd have to crick your wrist up to get into that position. But there it was, just one single creepy, greasy handprint on the inside of my windshield. At this point, I was feeling very afraid and quickly wiped off as much of the handprint as I could, but the greasy outline remained on the windshield until I cleaned it off with window cleaner. I still do not know what this was to this day, and it freaks me out to think about it. That's some greased up, tall gray, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, could have also maybe been someone at the car dealership that ate some greasy food and then
Yeah.
Maybe a little in and out or
Maybe-
something.
Maybe you just didn't notice until the light hit it right.
Yeah, because like you know what the
But
handprint,
long.
right? But maybe they had a little sex in the car.
Oh.
You know, at the dealership, a little hanky.
Are you saying this is body grease?
And they kind of just like slapped that hand up on the windshield in a moment of passion.
Maybe this is what he does. He or she does to celebrate the sale of a car.
Yeah.
Oh, before it leaves the lot. It's
Yeah.
like King's rules in medieval times.
I think your car got king ruled.
But
Sorry.
tallow and lard?
Hey,
Yeah.
look, you have a little tallow and lard for lunch. And you have
It's
a little,
hot out. It's hot out in that car lot. You know.
Oh, God, that's rough. In a
Sorry,
hot
this
car.
is. I don't know.
No,
Creepy,
I mean,
creepy and gross. That's
Creepy
all
and
it is.
gross. But
Creepy
you know
and
how
gross.
like if you write something like in a foggy mirror, the grease of your
Yeah.
fingers will kind of stay there, so if the mirror fogs up
Yeah,
again,
of course.
it'll appear. So it's like maybe with window stuff, I'm always
know.
like could have been.
Sounds like ectoplasm to me. That's all I'm gonna say.
It also very much could have been that.
The prediction. Once a year, I like to check in with a trusted astrologer who I've been working with for the past few years to get a feel for the year ahead. She's always been incredibly spot on with how she reads my chart, and I always leave our sessions uplifted and ready to get started on a new year. This is actually a great idea. One year, we had finished discussing what was coming up for me when I said, I normally wouldn't say anything, but there is one more thing. She said this. Again, see, now I'm micromanaging myself. She said, I normally wouldn't say anything, but there is one more thing. When I asked what it was, she said, this isn't in your chart, but I'm having a really strong intuitive sense about December. It looks like you might experience a death around that time. It will be a significant one.
Oh, jeez.
I didn't know what to make of that, only to hope that this was the one time she would be wrong. And I love that you have to wait all year
Yeah.
to be like, which it's like
This
which,
was a reading in
who is this
January.
going to
Yeah.
who's gonna die?
Right.
I wondered how ethical it was of her to give me that kind of information. I know a lot of astrologers don't talk about that kind of stuff, but ultimately, I put it out of my mind. On December 6th of that year, my oldest friend, we met in first grade, was in a fatal car accident. It was indeed a significant death to process. Having a bit of information prior to the accident did not make it easier to grieve, but it has been something that stuck in my mind as either a strange coincidence or an example of someone being able to energetically pick up on events yet to happen. A little darker and not as deliciously creepy as some of your listener stories, I know, but it is certainly one of my most paranormal experiences. Hard segue. Jet ski summer forever.
Forever.
Signed SW.
Cool.
Wow.
I mean, what do you do with that info? I mean, what do you do? It's, again, proof's in the pudding as far as I'm concerned.
yeah.
That's really, I'm so sorry for your loss. That sucks.
Yeah, that's awful.
And
you
yeah,
know,
I agree. I don't want to know. I
Yeah.
don't know if I'm watching Paper Girls right now, which is based on the Brian K. Vaughan and Cliff Chang comic on Amazon Prime. I recommend it. But the show kind of like I was watching it last night. I turned to my girlfriend. I was like, this show really makes me not want to know what my future holds. You
Right,
know what I mean? She was
yeah.
like, I don't know. I'd still want to know. I'm like, I don't want to know. I don't think I want to know.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
with
it just opens up there's such a weird question, too, of like knowing what the future holds. Then we're talking about the difference between free will and predetermination. And
Yeah.
it's just like, it's a real mind fuck if you start thinking that there is something that is going to happen no matter what you do.
I agree. This is bad philosophy.
Also-
This doesn't work at any level. Because this is like knowing that you have a dentist appointment 2 months from now, and yet worrying every day about the pain that's going to be inflicted. And ultimately, once you arrive at
Are
that
you scared
dentist,
of the dentist, Bryce?
no. But what I'm saying is, I think that psychic did her a wrong, and I think that general rule is there amongst people with those type of
Yeah, don't
talents.
tell anybody that.
Yeah, don't tell anybody stuff because you can't grieve until it actually happens. So there's no pre-grieving until the event actually takes place. So, why put yourself through that? It just completely takes you out of the moment of going through your day, your life.
Because then
That's
you're
it.
walking in a month later and you're like, well, you were right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you're like, now I have to make a choice of like, if you see any other bad shit coming my way, let me know or not.
Yeah. Right.
But then kind of knowing like, well, I guess all this other good stuff is going to happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't say anything.
Right.
I'm sorry that happened to you on a number of levels.
But it is wild, like, because I
wild.
do think some people are able to have like premonition and like a sort of like a foresight into the future.
Yes.
No doubt.
But then, yeah, like the implication of that is that like I don't have free will, or my free will doesn't matter,
Or like,
I guess you could sum it. It ultimately comes down to this:
If
would
the-
you
if-
want to know when your own death was going to take place? It's a question for yourself.
No.
And that's what this ultimately boils down to. No, and I wouldn't either.
no, but also like, give me that information if I can prevent it from happening. If I can't prevent it from happening, I don't want to spend my entire year worrying about who close to me is going to die.
Oh my God, I don't want to
Right.
spend an entire year trying to prevent someone from dying. That sounds
Well, you
like
know what I mean? Like,
just as much work
you
and in
better
a
come to
wrong
me-
direction too. I don't
Yeah.
want to play God.
You better come to me as Arnold Schwarzenegger did to young John Connor and be like, or Sarah Connor, be like,
Right.
we have to do
Come
this
with me
thing.
if you want to live.
Yeah, we got to do this thing to fix this future disaster.
Right.
Or don't come at me at all.
Right.
yeah.
Totally.
All right. So any psychics out there, if the three of us can prevent the robot apocalypse,
Yeah.
let us know.
Let us know.
Other than that, not interested.
Yep. All right, everybody. Thanks for sending in your elf files again. If you got a story and we need them, send it to BigfootCollectorsClub@gmail.com. All right, we come to the end of another episode. Let's have some plugs. I'll kick it off. If you like the intro to our show, the music at the very beginning, that's by a band called Suneaters. And they have a brand new album out called Absinthe Makes the Heart Grow Fingers.
It's a great
You
title.
can find it at lotuspool.com. I just gave Bryce a
Yeah.
copy of the disc.
Killer album art. I'm gonna pop it in the old Xterra
Painted by
right when
my
we get out
buddy
here.
Mark Silverberg. Shout out Mark. And this is fun news for everybody. My sister has a new podcast about Star Wars and feminism called Forced.
No.
As of this recording, the first 2 episodes are up. It's hosted by my sis Sarah Garibaldi and Rose Marshak of the Poster Children, which is a great band.
No.
Go give them a follow and listen to them and give them a 5-star review. They're getting launched. Check that out. So yeah, if you're into politics and Star Wars and nostalgia, then check out this podcast.
That's great. What a great title.
Yeah.
Forced.
As for me, follow me at McMills on Instagram, audition coach with me at bookitwithmike@gmail.com, and listen to season 1 of my other podcast, Slate Your Name, wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah.
Bryce, what do you got?
That's it. Look for me on socials. I'm on Instagram at Mr. Bryce Johnson and on Twitter at Bryce O. Johnson. And if you want to watch my other Bigfoot show, Expedition Bigfoot, you could find it on Travel Channel and Discovery Plus. Check it out there. And check out Michael's sister's podcast. That sounds great.
And I'm at Peace Drone on Instagram. I would like to plug my Cameo.
Go for it.
Hell
All
yeah.
our cameos.
Yeah.
Look, we
I
all
love
have
doing those.
cameos. I'm plugging mine specifically.
Okay, great.
Book them too, but they're getting
By the
booked,
way,
you
the
know.
links are in our link tree on all our socials.
Hit it in the link tree. Look, I will play you a song. Any song you want to hear, I will play it for you.
That's a deal.
I might have to book a fucking Riley cameo.
It's a deal.
Yeah, that's a
I'll
deal.
wish you happy birthday. I'll talk to you about my day. I don't know. I've done a few. They're really fun. I want to do more. So
Yeah.
book me on Cameo. Also, recently I was a guest on the Make Is Magic podcast, which is a listener that I met through the show, and he's got a great podcast. He's really awesome. So we'll put a link to that as well. But it's a long, rambling episode. You can learn all about my life and thoughts on things. So check it out.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
I'll
look at
listen to that. Yeah.
Jinxie poo.
2 interested dads.
Under a roof, can't come back to you.
Well, we're not saying goodbye quite yet because we have some Patreon shout-outs.
All
Now,
right.
typically I have you guys say thank you after every name, but because we're wrapping up BCC Jet Ski summer, I think you should make a jet ski sound. So vroom vroom
Ooh,
or zoom
okay,
zoom,
cool.
whatever you want to
Great.
do.
Wow.
You can
Great.
switch it up. It doesn't have to be consistent all the way through.
Yeah.
So we're going to put those instead of thanks, okay?
Great.
All right, here we go. Greg Scott. Marina with a generous pledge. Remote Chicken. Adrian Reyes. Niova 0. Stephen Meyer Jr. Jurassic Mark. Disc Gold with Austin. Lori. Oh no. Alex James. Allison Thomas. Erica Carpenter. Jody. Bip Grizzo. Which sounds like a
I was trying to be like hitting the waves.
yeah, that was good. Christine Jarosek. Tobias Destoel. Cindy Bell. Kayapula May. Martin Galvin. Katie Corella. Duke Pearson. Matthew Bieberick. Erica Hunter. Cassie Wanberg. Sean Racine. Generic display name. Mary Mickelson.
Running out of sound.
Nope, you
Hard to
got
not repeat it, right?
got zoom. Allison Ruiz.
Jet ski.
Krista Vick. Jill Ramsey. Stay committed, boys. Adam Smith. Caroline Dyla. Good. I like it. Heighten it. Christina Ingalls. Tom Hendershot. Troy Slamma.
Bryce, you're so sexy.
David Alba.
Bryce, come back! I'm drowning.
Jaramillo. Damian Casey. We're coming in for the big finale here, guys. Garrison Gunter. And Eric Beasley. Thank you to all of you guys and gals and non-binaries who have either joined us or raised your patronage or returned to BCC the other side. Honestly, guys, this is no joke. Without our patrons, there would be no Bigfoot Collectors Club. That is the truth. So you listening at home, if you don't pledge to us on our Patreon, you also should be thanking these people we just named because they're the reason you get this show every week.
That's right. Look
true.
them all up on the internet individually. Find them and thank them.
Think them out loud because you guys keep us going, and we really appreciate it. All right, that's it. Next week, BCC Jet Ski Summer Finale. We're wrapping it up. Don't forget, today's the very last day to get those T-shirts in our TeePublic shop, so go get those right now. Until next time, good night.
And go get regressed.
I also want to say those aren't leaf blowers that you've been hearing throughout the episode. Those are actually jet skis that we
That's right.
hired to park outside the studio and just rev.
LA
Yeah.
Urban Jet Skis.
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't. It's very.
It's like this new trendy thing, the canyon jet skis.
I love it. It's top stuff. Bigfoot Collectors Club is produced by Riley Bray and Michael McMillan and scored and engineered by Riley Bray. Our theme song, Come Alone, is by Suneaters, courtesy of Lotuspool Records. Do us a favor and support the show and unlock 3 bonus episodes every month by becoming a member of our Patreon, BCC The Other Side, which can be found at patreon.com/BigfootCollectorsClub.